The sun was glowing bright that morning, as if the universe itself was celebrating with us. My daughter, Emily, was graduating with honors, and I could barely contain my pride. She was the first in my family to make it to university, and she had worked tirelessly to get there. I stood in the crowd of proud parents, holding my camera, heart swelling as her name was called. I caught the moment when her tassel flipped, and tears blurred my vision. All the sacrifices, the long nights, the extra shifts, the missed vacations, had been worth it. My husband, Richard, stood stiffly beside me. His smile seemed forced, but I brushed it off as nerves. He had always been cold in public. But today I thought he would at least share in our daughter's achievement. After the ceremony, Emily came running into my arms. I held her tight, inhaling her perfume mixed with the faint smell of flowers from the bouquet she carried. Friends, teachers, and relatives crowded around to congratulate her. It was supposed to be her moment. And then Richard cleared his throat. "I have an announcement," he said loudly, commanding everyone's attention. I turned to him, confused. "In front of all of you," he continued, his voice sharp, "I want to say that I'm done with this marriage. I'm leaving her." He pointed directly at me. "I've wasted too many years pretending. I've found someone else, someone who makes me happy." The world stopped. I froze. Emily's bouquet slipping from my hand. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Emily's smile disappeared, her eyes wide with horror. Tears burned behind my eyes, but I didn't let them fall. My heart pounded in my chest so violently, I thought it might break through my ribs. He had chosen our daughter's graduation, her one perfect day, to humiliate me publicly. People whispered. Some looked at me with pity, others with curiosity. Emily pushed away from her father, her face flushed red. "Dad, what the hell?" she shouted. But Richard just shrugged. Looking smug. "Better now than later," he said. At that moment, something inside me shattered, and something else ignited. If he thought he had broken me, he was wrong. The days after the graduation were suffocating. Emily barely spoke to her father. He had moved into a small apartment nearby, parading his mistress, a woman barely 10 years older than our daughter, around town like a prize. I cried when no one was looking. Nights were the worst, when the bed felt cold and empty. But through the tears, an idea was forming. Richard believed he had left me powerless. But he had underestimated me. I remembered the years I supported him when he was nothing. I had worked double shifts as a nurse while he chased his business dreams. I paid the bills, raised Emily, cooked, cleaned, and smiled even when he came home late smelling of perfume that wasn't mine. I had ignored the signs, the long, business trips, the sudden gym membership, the phone always face down on the table. Love had blinded me, or maybe loyalty had chained me. But now, the chains were broken. Quietly, I began collecting evidence. His affair wasn't hard to prove, the man wasn't discreet. I followed paper trails, found hotel receipts, tracked his credit card charges, and even stumbled upon shady business deals he had hidden from the IRS. I never confronted him. I smiled politely when he dropped Emily off, pretending to be cordial. He mistook my silence for weakness for acceptance. Inside, I was a storm. Silent, gathering strength, waiting for the right moment to strike. The perfect opportunity arrived 3 months later at Richard's company anniversary gala. He invited me out of obligation, perhaps to flaunt his mistress in front of me. Emily didn't want to go, but I convinced her. That night, I wore the red dress he had once forbidden me from wearing, saying it was too bold. My hair was done, my heels clicked against the marble floor, and for the first time in years, I felt like myself again. Richard's eyes widened when he saw me, though he quickly masked it with arrogance. His mistress clung to his arm like cheap jewelry. As the evening wore on, Richard took the stage to boast about his company's success. "We've built this empire with honesty and hard work," he declared. The room applauded. That was my cue. I walked gracefully to the stage. Emily, trembling but determined, followed. Richard frowned, confused. "Actually," I said into the microphone, my voice steady, "there's something everyone should know. A gasp filled the room as I held up a folder thick with documents. While Richard speaks of honesty, here's the truth: he has been embezzling company funds, cheating on taxes, and betraying not just me, but everyone who ever trusted him. I handed copies to the board members, lawyers, and even a reporter I had tipped off. Screens lit up as people scanned the damning evidence. Richard's face turned pale, then red. He lunged toward me, grabbing the microphone. "You liar," he roared, his voice cracking. "You vindictive witch!" But Emily stepped forward. "No, Dad," she said loudly. "Mom's telling the truth. I've seen the messages. I've seen the proof. You're not the man you pretend to be." The room erupted in whispers. His mistress slipped away into the crowd, abandoning him instantly. Richard started screaming, veins bulging on his neck. He shouted accusations, curses, threats. But no one was listening anymore. Security escorted him off the stage as cameras flashed. In that moment, I felt a wave of calm wash over me. Revenge wasn't about screaming louder. It was about letting the truth speak for itself. In the months that followed, everything changed. Richard's company collapsed under investigation. He lost his position, his reputation, and eventually, his freedom when the IRS pressed charges. The mistress disappeared from his life the moment his money dried up. Emily chose to cut ties with him, focusing on her studies and helping me rebuild our lives. She often told me how proud she was, not just for surviving, but for standing tall. As for me, I used my nursing background to open a small health consultancy. It grew slowly but steadily, and for the first time in years, I was building something that was truly mine. There were nights I sat on the porch, sipping tea, staring at the stars, and reflecting on everything. The pain of betrayal still lingered, but it no longer controlled me. Richard once thought he had destroyed me by announcing his departure on our daughter's special day. But in reality, he set me free. Because sometimes, the sweetest revenge isn't ruining someone's life. It's living your own so well that their absence feels like a blessing. And that's exactly what I did.